If you're someone that feels like you need to be good at something before you even start, this might be what's holding you back. Hi, I'm new here. I'm Stef. I blend crystals and tarot and soul-led coaching together to help overwhelmed women find themselves without guilt, without pressure. If that sounds like your cup of tea, then stick around. So lately I've been doing this course. It's an applied creative first aid. Let's get it right. And it's been really, really interesting as we go through and explore how I respond to stress and how I feel, that fight or flight or freeze or fawn or, all of those sorts of things, what it feels like in my body, how that makes me feel in the moment, not in the moment, like around it. And of course, being a creative course, there's lots of little microdoses of different things that you need to do. And part of that, it's getting in touch again with drawing and writing and observing the world around you. Really cool stuff. And so this quote came up, and let me just find it. You don't have to be good at art for art to be good for you. This is attributed to Dr. Christina Davis. Now, she is a researcher at the University of WA, and she has put together the creative side of things together with how that actually works with your mental health, and not necessarily in a way that like the artists have the bestest mental health in the world. No, not like that, but just how you can actually explore creativity even if you don't consider yourself a creative person. And I just thought that was the most brilliant thing. And in fact, I've actually changed it. I've changed it a little bit to being, you don't have to be good at it for it to be good for you. So it just kind of broadens that a little bit. It takes it out of just being about art or creativity or anything, and it kind of gives you permission in order to be able to actually apply it to anything. So for me, as a person who chronically overthinks and is constantly up in my head, especially when it comes to things that are more about feeling or doing rather than just thinking about it, it's actually giving me that okay to just do and see what happens. And it's a weird thing. Like, it does bring the question, right? Why do we think we need to be good at something first? And I don't know, I feel like as we progress through life, as we're a child, it's expected that a child is not going to be good at doing stuff at first. They've never done it before. So, we give kids that grace period to actually learn and try and to experiment and to produce lots of crappy stuff before, they kind of become good at it. That's kind of par for the course. But then when we are adults, we don't really give ourselves that same grace. We think, oh, I'm an adult, I should be good at this, or I did it 20 years ago, surely I'm good at it still. I used to be pretty good at this, and now I'm completely out of practice, but I'm terrible. And it makes our ego sort of go, oh no, that is not for me. I don't really want that. Or we're worried about what other people will think. Oh no, I'm an adult here. Are people going to judge me and think that I'm terrible because my art is terrible? What do people think? I do a XYZ kind of job. There's no creativity. I'm supposed to be serious all the time. Say I'm a police officer or something, I'm meant to be serious and uphold the law and be an upstanding citizen and, all of that sort of thing. I chase bad guys. I don't get into pottery or sit and paint or knit or crochet or something. I don't know. Like, I'm just putting that out there. I think you sometimes kind of get these weird notions in your head that you forget that, especially when it comes to a creative pursuit, that you don't need to be good at doing that first when you start. Like meditation, oh my gosh, what a big part of everything I sort of do. It always comes back to meditation, to being able to sit with yourself, sit with the quiet, or just be present within yourself without distractions, and to just kind of let things flow. Yet so many people will tell me, oh, I can't sit still, I can't empty my mind, or I can't meditate, and it just doesn't work for me. And I think they're expecting to be able to just sit peacefully for, I don't know, half an hour or however long a class might go for, when you kind of need to build up to that kind of length. It can be hard if you're a person who's on the go all the time to actually just be at peace. If you're a person who's constantly got this list of things you need to do, where you need to be, what everybody else needs in your household, everything that's coming up, all the things at work. Like if you've got a head full of all of that kind of stuff, that to actually sit in stillness, or if you can't sit still and you'd like to do more of an active meditation, actively putting one foot in front of the other and noticing how it feels underfoot, how the breeze outside feels, what you can hear, what you can smell, maybe, if there's some beautiful wildflowers, or you can smell the dirt, or you can smell the rain, or, any of those sorts of things, to actually just let all those things just be the focus, instead of the constant to-do list, instead of the constant mind chatter, or the 10 million tabs that you've got open in your brain at all times for all the things that you normally need to keep track of and things like that. Like, we think we don't do it well when we have our mind full of all that stuff, and that in order to be considered good at something, that you're like some kind of a monk or something like that, when really it's not the case. The whole point is the practice of it. So what happens when we wait, when we don't engage with creative things, or when we don't actually do the things that we want to be doing? What happens? We feel stuck. We're not taking any action. Nothing is changing. And if we are wanting to engage with some kind of creative artwork, something, especially something that you used to enjoy doing, we can, when we hold ourselves back and don't actually do it because we think we need to be good at it first, or, our first couple of attempts we considered rubbish or something, well, we then start overthinking it, don't we? We start to then not take actions to do the thing because we think, it needs to be perfect. I need to have the right equipment. I need to have the right kind of canvas. I need to be inspired by something in order to be able to paint it or draw it, or something like that. I need to have the best instrument if I'm wanting to reconnect with playing music again, or something along those lines. We can sort of think, get stuck into needing to have the right stuff, the right environment. We might go overboard. I know I'm guilty of it, where I will start to look into courses as well, and think, I want to go do this big long course. Maybe I might do a uni degree in whatever my latest thing is that is scratching my brain itch, thinking, that might be a good course of study, or a little something to do. And I mean, when I have pursued those in the past, I'll do it for a few weeks. Part of it's the anticipation of waiting for the course to start. Part of it is the excitement of learning new stuff. And I really do love learning new stuff. But I get stuck at the application of it. So when you start to do assignments or things, and you start going, man, this has really taken over my life, and I don't know that I really want to do this. I don't know that I actually want to do this as a career, because this course will lead into it being more of a career rather than it being something I'm learning for enjoyment's sake. And then I start to pull out of things and then go, no, not for me. And I start backtracking. And there's a whole lot of stress that was involved with that, because now you've got this uni course that you've pulled out way too late in the semester. So you're going to need to be paying for that. Great. So, there is that. Kind of got off topic a little bit. Anyway, what if good isn't the point? What if being good at stuff is not the point of actually doing the thing? What if the point of doing whatever it is that you were planning to do or thinking about doing, what if playing around with some wood and some saws and building stuff, doing a little bit of home-based carpentry, what if the point of that was not necessarily to have a professional looking set of shelves or table or something like that? What if the point of that was to learn something new, to work with your hands, to explore some creativity, to see what it might be like? Maybe there is some enjoyment that will come from the process of doing this something. Now, one of the exercises, one of the microdoses within this course is to do a blind portrait. So what they get you to do is to, when it's within a live thing or when you've got a person in front of you, you draw that other person, but you cannot look down at your page and you cannot take your drawing implement off the page. So you end up doing weird things like this. This was meant to be a self-portrait. Totally looks like me, isn't it? You can sort of see the resemblance, right? The thing I created was funny because it really, this is very abstract. I think this would totally be something that I could do something more with because it just looks so odd. And then I'd end up with some kind of like a Picasso-y something or other, with eyes and noses and faces and stuff just completely jumbled up, because that's what it looks like when you aren't looking at what you're drawing and you don't take your pen off the page. But you know what? Doing that actually was relaxing and fun, and there was zero pressure to be good at it, because how on earth is anybody good at it when they're not looking at it? They can't see where their pen is in relation to it. And I mean, if you are really good at it, I'll issue you a challenge. Do it. Give it a go for yourself. And if you are really good at it, man, let us know what your secrets are. Because, I mean, maybe you just got to be exceptional with your spatial awareness. I don't know. But it is kind of fun. And if you're doing that with somebody else and you're both drawing each other, and especially if you're in a bit of a tense moment or something like that before, or you've come out of a stressful meeting or stressful situation or something like that, or you're just really feeling jumbled up, how cool to be able to do a blind portrait of the person sitting near you. And of course, it's not going to look anything like it. You do it in like a minute. So it's super quick. And how good is it to just break that tension? To put a smile on your face and to just help to ease some of the stress that you might be carrying in your body. So there we go. From me to you, this is your permission, if you needed permission, to just try things. To try things with zero pressure to be good at it. In fact, what I think would be awesome is if you create bad art. Create art that looks terrible but makes you smile, because you know how terrible it is. I had a friend who, they were, I think, in their late 20s, maybe early 30s when I met them. I was in my early 20s. So, there was a little bit of an age gap. And so she used to say that what she and her husband do is ugly dancing when they go out anywhere. If they happen to go to a place that had live music or, music playing and you would dance around. They felt like they were a little bit older, didn't really like going out to nightclubs or bars or anything like that much. So, yeah, if they did go out and there was music and there might be dancing, it would be ugly dancing. So I thought that was fun. And that's what I do. It's not pretty in any way, shape, or form, but boy, does it make me feel good being able to move my body around to the music. I think I'm dancing in time with it. I probably am not. But hey, I might look like I'm having an epileptic seizure. Who knows? But I'm having a darn good time. And so I wish that for you as well. Go and enjoy. Go and explore things. And things don't have to cost money. You don't need fantastic materials. You don't need to have the best of the best or anything like that. You just need to start and give yourself that permission to start. Now, in the description box, there's a link and you'll be able to print out your permission slip if you would like one. And there's also a A5 sort of size postcard where I've actually put my version of the quote that you can print out and that you can put somewhere. I plan to put mine in a frame. You don't have to be good at it for it to be good for you. So now, go and infect your world with kindness, and I will catch up with you another time. Take care.